Hi, welcome to another episode of Under the Water.
Fucking floor.
Every fucking time. I keep on saying
Under the
boardwalk. Right?
Under the boardwalk. That sounds
It's a song.
sinister.
Bruce Willis.
Is it?
Aye.
Aye, it's Bruce Willis.
Sorry, there you go.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Under the Floorboard. We're welcoming here today Connaire McGuinness. Big cheer.
Hey!
Who's a real estate property expert, has had multiple roles. I'm going to go it. We're going to delve into it. Has had multiple roles and at the moment works for Kelly Residential. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Why don't we start off with a bit of, tell us how you managed to get out of East Kilbride.
Oh, I didn't. I'm still in East Kilbride.
End
and,
of
I, and I
podcast.
wouldn't want to. I love East Kilbride. East Kilbride's class. Yeah, I grew up in East Kilbride. And apart from a 2-year period where I stayed in Uddingston, I've always lived there. And yeah, it was like, I remember moving to Uddingston and thinking, like, oh, this is great. It's like a nice wee place, like big tenement buildings. That looks lovely. And then, like the next day, it was like, I'm going to go to the gym. And then I get outside, like, there's not a gym in Uddingston. And then, like, the weekend, like, we're going to go to the cinema. Like, there's not a cinema here. There's not a shopping centre. There's not a big bus station. There's not an ice rink. It's like, is this what other small towns are like? This is how do people live like this? So, moved back to the big city.
And did you, obviously, I'm going to say the first time I met you was your fame. You're in the Daily Record, STV News, all these kind of things.
Yes.
But you never just turned up that one day. What were you doing before that? We're going to talk about your fame and get your autograph and shit like that.
Oh, great. Yeah, so like pre-property. So yeah, like I said, grew up in East Kilbride. Kind of early doors, was going to be a musician. That was going to be my fame. So that was
Is that where the colourful hair came from? Trying to be a musician.
That was it, yeah.
Try to stand out.
Yeah, so like that from when I was 10, that was kind of like what my like life goal was. It was like I'm going to be a musician, going to play in bands. And then I think when I was like 15, I started playing in bands, and that's like what I done like up until I was about 25.
All right.
So yeah, didn't.
How did you get on? Any good?
It was all right. It was very much like, I suppose it kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm doing just now, because it was very much like, I suppose, career focused on that. Even from like when I was 15, like I wouldn't say I done brilliant at school, but like I never really tried particularly hard either. Not because like, it was pure like tossing about, but it was just like I was always pretty focused on like I don't really need to be doing this because this is my thing that I'm going to do. And even when it got to the point where you need to pick like subjects and that at school, it was like I picked the ones that I liked, but it wasn't with any thought of like, oh, if I pick these, I can get into uni to do that. And then people were like studying for exams and that, and it was like, no, I'm dogging school the day because like I've got gigs at the weekend that we need to go and rehearse for. And so, yeah, that was that. So done that up until I was about 25. Probably could have went to uni after school, but then a few of the guys that was in a band with thought if we go to college we can do sound engineering instead, and that would really benefit like the group better if we knew what we were doing. So went and done that. And then had to get a real job at some point. Managed to get a job as a paramedic because like I didn't do terribly at school, but I didn't do that well. And done that for about 10 years. And that brought us up to the point of getting into property.
What age are you now?
31.
Fantastic. So I'm just going to ask a weird question, not at all to do with this, just on something that you said there. That, and I don't know, I'm going to sound like an old person here, right? Because obviously when we went to school, they're like, right, stick in, do this. This is you're going to be, I don't want to say footballer, you're going to be a journalist. So therefore you must do English and that. But it seems as though like when you're saying it, you're like, I know what I want to do and it's not really relevant at school. And then it's only when I'm just going to do what I want that suits me rather than, you know what I mean? It's not really like careers at school that we go, make sure you focus on this and only go to English school and do that. Do you think that's changed, or is it? Because it seems, I'd love to know when it changes. Because my son's the exact same as you. All my kids are the same going, I'm not going to bother with chemistry because I don't need that to make money. That's what he says.
Yeah, I went to school a lot more recently than you did, but it's still a while ago. So it's trying to claw back the memories here.
Tanked all the time here, by the way.
A long time ago, mate.
Jesus, man.
Connor's only a few years younger than me, but it was still the same.
Really?
Aye. I'm only 34.
No.
I was 31.
Wow.
It's 4 years, mate. I know you didn't stick it to school, but that's 4. But it didn't really change much because you went, like, you just went, you told to go and do your classes, obviously, and then you got to like kind of fourth, fifth year. That's when you started to get told, right, think about what you want to do because these are the classes you should be taking to go and do it. But I didn't have a bloody clue what I wanted to do. So I was like, I'll pick that because I think you'll need that to do that later in life. Whereas obviously Connor's obviously had an ambition and a passion to go, I know what I want to do. Doesn't matter. Like I don't need like my English was to go and play a guitar. I don't know if you played guitar, but just like very stereotypical there. But like he knows he doesn't need that to go and do what he wants to do because that's his thing. He's going to go and do it. So why not?
And the reason I'm asking is because wee bit of value for everyone of the listeners here is because a lot of parents my age are probably beating themselves up about the kids going like that. My kid just wants money, he doesn't want this, and I was trying to work out what is that point that changed from me mentality, this is what you must do, to all the parents now going, oh my God, my kid needs to go to university, whereas we're showboating you, as a success and an expert that didn't have to go down that route because you're a different direction it went.
Yeah, I think like thinking back, there's definitely a lot of pressure on like kids that you need to go to uni, and I suppose that like the areas that you live in and stuff like that, quite a lot of like my friends like were, they were like the first people in their family that went to uni, and so a lot of them came from like families and parents that had like really working class backgrounds and didn't go to university, and then when you send your kids to school and that's the thing that you're told is like, oh, like uni's like the big thing that everyone's pushing for, so you want them to go and do that. So yeah, I'd say there certainly when I was at school there is a lot of pressure like to do that as if it is like kind of the be all and end all. That's kind of is what school sets you up for though, isn't it? It's like academic education. It's
totally.
It's targeted towards like you're either like leaving when you're 15 or 16 to go and get like an apprenticeship somewhere, or if you are like one of the elite few that are staying on until you're 18, then like you will go to university, and it's like, and then you'll rack up debt for 4 years, and then like you'll go and just do the same job as everyone else for the most part. Like there's
on less money because they've been working longer than you in it.
Yeah, that's a cynical outlook. I know there's like people that go to uni and they get like really good jobs at the end of it. There's like pros and cons to it. It's not the be all and end all. Like there's a bit of both.
I stayed on to 6 year, but it's only 'cause I didn't know what I wanted to do. I know that I was super clever and wanted all the hires. I only got about 3 hires, or 4, I can't remember. But like it's not a case of like, because you're told just to, like you're saying, you're told to go to 6 year, get all your hires and go to university and get the job. But I went to college anyway, to uni, and I've done nothing with the honours degree that I've got. Do you know what I mean? So
I think schooling now is more positive. I know this is nothing to do with real estate, but I think it is more positive now, and it is more towards doing what you want to do. I guess it's probably, like I say, I went in the dark ages, Victorian time, where it was like abacus and sketchbooks, but now it's more like express yourself. My son's got to school this morning, he's got PE, and he says it's in the classroom. I'm like, it's raining, surely you're outside in cross country. And he's like, no, we're doing emotional and spiritual well-being. I'm like,
Megan, didn't get that.
You didn't.
I never got that. I got told to shut it and get on with it. Do you know what I mean?
Look how you turned out.
I know, thank you. 3 times now. So then you're doing that, you realise that you're a failed guitarist.
Yep.
Sorry, I just...
No, sorry. That was my Twitter handle the whole time, was failing musician. So that's fine.
Set yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
No. So you're a better guitarist than me.
Thanks. I might not be, but thanks.
I don't even know that's like a compliment.
I don't play
you can't even play guitar.
And then you're like, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to... What was that spark? What happened? You're like, I'm being on a band, which is really cool. I'm only joking. You're in a band, and then you go, I'm going to do this. What's that spark?
Yeah, so there's a bit of a crossover there. So when I got to sort of the age where you left school and left college and that, like I was doing the band full time, but also like kind of needed to work as well. So managed to like get a job as a paramedic because like I didn't do terribly at school. My dad was also a paramedic, so it was like that way. It was like, oh, well, you've got a house and a car. I would quite like a house and a car. What do you do for work? I applied for a job there, got it. It's a good job. Like done that for like 10 years, up until very recently, actually. It's one of those things. Like people always say, like it's a really good job and all the rest of it, and everyone's always like very commending you in that. My father-in-law jokes that it's like you went from like one of the most respected professions in the world to one of the most hated professions in the world, and I was like, well, I feel like I've built up enough karma points over 10 years that I can get away with it. So,
get away with it now.
But you know, I've always said like, I wouldn't claim, like, I absolutely detest people that do anything healthcare related that think of themselves as like a hero. Most people that also work in a healthcare job also detest those people, but it's a pure bugbear. So like, it's not like you're a pure hero because like you work in healthcare or do a job like that. Because like at the end of the day, like I wouldn't have done it for free. Like it wasn't there as a hobby or anything like that. However, that said, like there are a lot of other easier jobs that you could have done that probably would have paid you more. So there is an element of, you know, you make a conscious choice to do something like that because it's like helping people. However, at the same time, like I'm not doing it out of the goodness of my heart. Like I'm not like going volunteering and doing it. So I don't say that to be like pure, I'm a hero because I help people. It's just like, you know, like there is a choice there, and I would rather like do that sort of helping role. So yeah, transition into property was, I stopped doing the bands at like 25. I thought, you know, it's been like 10 years I've done it. I just got together with my missus, had moved up. And, you know, we were like spending that much money on it. It was like 10 years. And I thought, you know, if I put this much time and effort into like anything else other than music, because there's not a great deal of money in it, it was like a passion project that I wanted to do since I was really young. And I thought if I put this much time and effort into anything else, I would have at least maybe turned a profit by now, which I wasn't doing music. So I stopped doing that and thought like, right, I want to like work for myself. I want to be like self-employed. I want to start a business. I've got no idea what I want it to be. But like I know that's what I'm going to do. Like that's like going to replace this kind of like gap in my life because I spent that long thinking, yeah, that's going to be like my career is I'm going to be like doing music for myself. That's it. And then when I thought, right, that's not, we'll need to like pivot a little bit. I thought, right, well, I don't know what the other thing's going to be, but it's certainly going to be like the same way I'm doing just now, where it's like it's targeted and working towards something for me. And kind of fell into property.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think music is a bit like being a footballer, right? Doesn't matter how great you are, you got to just be lucky. And somebody's got, like Oasis is a prime example, right? The manager wasn't even coming up to see them. He just stayed to finish his pint. That's how they were discovered.
Yeah.
In King Tut's, you know, he wasn't seeing them. It was his daughter that says, just finish your drink and listen to them. And so I think it's probably more luck than skill in a lot of the way. And so, because I think when I met you, you were doing paramedics. So you were had you just started KW, or are you?
Yeah, probably.
The really famous property. Had you started? How did that come across?
Must have been just about then. So yeah, like getting into property, it was again like I said, wanted to like start my own business. Didn't know what it was going to be. And, you know, was just like reading loads of books, like trying to educate yourself as best you could. Like finally got around to actually studying, like maybe 10 years late.
10 years too late. I study for something actually.
I know. I started doing an open uni degree actually, like a business management degree. And it was like, yeah, it was actually quite interesting. I sat like, because it was for so long just like reading books about like entrepreneurs and like businesses and stuff like that, and found it really, really interesting. And then I was like, I might as well be getting something out of this. Like, why don't I just like go and do the degree while I'm doing it? And then, so started it. Came across, as we all did, a Paul McFadden video on Instagram one day, and it was talking about like a property investment training course. I remember looking at it and thinking, like, I mean, property investing is probably something I would do like way into the future, like after I built a business. But at the same time, I don't have one just now, so it's not going to hurt to go along to it and just see what it's like. And I was like expecting it to be like, as everyone is, you know, if you save up enough money, you can buy a flat, and then if you save up enough money again, you can buy another flat, and so on. And so like dragged my missus along to it, and we sat through that, and he started talking about, you know, like sourcing and things like that, and how you can actually grow a business out of it. And I was like, this sounds amazing. Like this could be a business. This is what I could do. And I remember like being buzzing, and went home and spoke to my wife that night and was just saying like that's it. I'm going to do this. It's going to be property. I'm just going to go all in on this, and that's it. Like it's not
amazing.
Like we've looked at like kind of other business ideas and stuff like that, and read like loads of books and all the rest of it, and tried things like, you know, investing in like stocks and shares and crypto, and doing like kind of like drop shipping and like doing like e-commerce and stuff like that. I had tried a few other like wee bits and bobs and like that. Just need to pick one thing and stick to it, and it's going to be this. And it wasn't out of like at the time any kind of love or passion for it. It was just, this is a viable business option. This is what I'm going to do. And so just decided like there and then, that's it. This is what it's going to be. And that's been it.
I think everybody goes through that wee kind of stage. Cause I looked at like drop shipping, and think it's the same thing. Like you go find something on Amazon that's selling, you go and buy it from some other website, and you put it on Amazon to sell, and I think that's drop shipping into it, but whatever it is. But everyone goes through that kind of, I'll try this, I'll try that, because I know something makes money. I don't know what to do, and I don't think anybody loves kind of bricks and mortar of
I know, with the greatest respects as well, like it's a lot of nonsense. Like as everyone that tries it figures it out, but it's good because like, it gives you like kind of. There's a quote in a book that's like the only way to actually learn about business is by being in business. And so it's like you can try and educate yourself all you want, you can read all the books you want, but you know, unless you go out and actually try it, then like first of all you won't realise that it's like a load of rubbish. But you learn stuff by doing it. Like you like speak to people that are like suppliers and that, and you buy stock, and you like set up a website and you send it, and you realise like the problems that you've got with like posting things. As much as it's not massively relevant to the property world, it like gives you a bit of kind of like first hand experience, and it's like the barrier to entry for it so low. It's crap, but like
but I think it's good.
You learn something from it.
It's that relationship management you're setting up. It's like websites. It's how to talk to people. It's
processes and everything else, and delivery service.
How the fact that if you're a bit wet behind the ears and you pick up and you start doing drop shipping and people let you down, you're like, why is people letting me down?
Yeah,
you're like, because people do let people down a lot, and I think it's quite a good grown up start. So then you're doing all that. You've come back. You've done the course.
And then it was very much like let's give sourcing a bash. And obviously the famous STV house was like the first deal that I ever found.
Jesus,
it took a very long time to get it over the line, but it was like I'd kind of done the course, and I was like, yeah, brilliant. Like let's just go out and try and find something. It was my mum that found it. It was in an article in like the Record of the Sun that the neighbour had put up saying like we live next door to this house. It's like an absolute state. It's falling apart. I can't sell my house because of it. And it said it was in Crawford. And then I was like, right, well, that's it. That's a good opportunity. Let's get in the car and we'll go and drive about Crawford until we find it. And then, drove past it. It was like, that's it. Went and chapped the neighbour's door. It was like, I am a property developer.
With the paper,
and I would
like, is this you?
I know,
do you need help?
It was like, just like, I'd done a course that a week before, and I was like, I am a property developer in the local area, and I would like to buy the house next door. Do you have it? And like, just absolute like nonsense again. But the guy was like brand new, invited me in, gave me the owner's number.
That's awesome.
That was it. But at the time I was thinking like, oh, this would be great. I could like source this onto someone. It would be like a good wee deal.
You're not thinking about the other possibilities of what you went on to do with it. It's
exactly.
Oh, I've got a property I can source it on because I've been told, and you kind of forget like all the other strategies because you're so laser focused on sourcing. You think actually I forget you could do, flipping it or assisted sale it or whatever. So
what did you do and what would you do? And what would you do different now that you're like a far more experienced and you know it?
So at the time I was like, I am like, first of all, it took me like probably a year worth of phoning the guy until he eventually agreed to let us come out and have a look at it. Because I think he'd been let down by people before. He's probably had like constantly people phoning up asking about that house and no one wanted to take it on. And so I knew other people that had said they'd inquired about it before, never got anywhere with it. I just basically set it in my calendar, like every Thursday at 4 o'clock I was going to give him a phone, and I was just going to phone him every week until we got somewhere with it. Because at the same time, and it goes back to what we're saying as well, like the whole, yes, worked as a paramedic and it doesn't make you a hero, but like there are other things you can do like that are easier for more money. So it does come from that place of like, I know that like if like I know right now like that's not doing him any benefit, that house being there. He's getting like aggro from his neighbours. There's like people writing about him in the papers and stuff like that. Like there is a solution to that there. I know that I'm not phoning him for a like money grab, like trying to like steal it out from under his feet or anything like that. It's just like I know that if like we work together on it, like we would be able to do something that's like beneficial for him. Like I said, not going to do it for free. Like it's not like I'm doing it like just out of the goodness of my heart. It's like there is a way that like I can do this from my business side. I can make money off of it, but it is like a genuinely like good outcome for him. Kept on at him. He eventually agreed to let us come out and see it. I was very, very new at the time. So Barry Wilson, who you both know, he was really kind of active in like, like property and like the courses that we'd all done. So messaged him and was like, look, I'm going to see this house. It looks like it could be a deal. do you want to come and see it with us?
Yeah,
And then
what
we
help
can
us
kind
out
of
here?
like go in on it together. What was that?
It's like, what help us out here? Like,
Pretty much, yeah. Because it was
what am I looking at here?
Yeah, because it was that way. It's like I could go out and have a look at it, but like there's definitely like you can see that there was like money to be made in it, and that it helps the guy out of that kind of situation. But at the same time, it's like I haven't done anything like that before, so like I just need someone to kind of lean on and learn from, and like he was like a really really good person to like help with that. He's
And I was going to say as well, like, you're right, because there is that solution for somebody, and yeah, you're not doing it for free. There is going to be money to be made like for you, but there's also a solution for everybody involved. But even having somebody who's done it all before as well and experiencing it, like you said, want to make sure you're giving the right solution and creating the right structure for it as well, not just saying, oh, we can do this, and it might not be the right thing. You might have the right intention with it.
Yeah.
It might not be like proposing it correctly to help them understand. They've had loads of tire kickers and time wasters before, so you want to make sure you're actually delivering it correctly and giving them the best solution, I suppose. So having an extra hand there was good for that other person as well.
Yeah, that's the
As well as
thing.
yourself.
And like, Barry was great for that. I remember him saying as well, which is why like we really got on so well together. Is like, yeah, it might be property, but like first and foremost, it's about helping people. Which is like why like we got on so well, and like why I was so keen to like kind of like stick around him and like learn from him, because like that's like property, like anyone that works in property, like you're never going to get like a great reputation from anyone, just like from the nature of it. Like it's never going to be that way, but like it doesn't mean that you have to just live up to like the way that everyone else. So the way he was like, it's always about like the vendor comes first. It's always about like kind of helping them out of like a situation. Like there will be, if you want to grow it as a business and make money out of it, like it will happen if you come from a place of like you're just trying to like help people first. And that was why he kind of suggested like going down the route of an assisted sale. It was like, look, he's had this property for a very, very long time. He's not in an urgent rush to get rid of it. You know, if someone was to buy it off of him, there's like all the other costs involved. There's lending, there's like ADS, there's everything else. If we went down the route of an assisted sale where he keeps ownership of it, we pay to like renovate it, like the profit share that we can do there, like is so much better on his side, and like we can take like a profit margin from it, and we can like offer him so much more money than we would if we were going to flip it, or better yet, if we sourced it onto someone else that was going to flip it. So that was like what we saw as like with the tools that we had at our disposal, the best way that we could, you know, get him the best amount of money for it and help him out of that situation. It also meant we were there the whole way through it. Like we were always in contact with him. We took care of everything. So from him, it was a case of like, this is it. Like you can wipe your hands of it now, because like we're going to go in, we'll like empty everything. It had like loads of like kind of family, like inheritance stuff and that in it. It's like we can put it in storage for you. Anything that you want to keep, like we can have it there. I met him at the house like a few times, and we're like going through like stuff that he owned that was in the house that he wanted to keep, and going through and making sure we kept it aside so that we could, you know, keep it for him. And then like that was probably like the last time that he was ever in the house. Then they just kind of, once he was ready for us to like start kind of doing it up, like we emptied it, like got it all renovated it on the market and sold, and then it was just a case of like there's your money, it's done. And
I think it's a big thing for him as well. Like he's obviously holding on to a lot of stuff there. He's not in any rush to sell it, because he's obviously got his own place, I'm presuming. So he's like, well, I don't need to. But it's also probably a big thing for him psychologically to even just step foot in the door to start going through that process.
Yeah, totally.
And then obviously I remember seeing the pictures and videos for it and stuff like that. It was a big project. So he'd probably overwhelmed with the thought of even starting doing it. So to actually say, well, we'll take care of it for you. We'll help you through the process. We'll help you, you know, organise things. We'll put it in storage for you. But that's probably like a weight off his kind of mind as well.
And I think that was a large part of the fact why like a deal had never been done before, because I think I might be wrong, but I think we were the first people to like just like have a proper sit down with her and be like, what is it that you need? And like the guy was about 70 and he still worked full time, so like he didn't like he wouldn't have been able to do that by himself, but he also didn't have the time to do it. He probably couldn't afford to do it. So yeah, it was a case of like sitting down and actually just like understanding like what like his needs are, like what he wanted to do with it, like how we could like best help him, because he probably never would have been able to retire had it not been for that. So it was just like
That's great.
Great.
Also, I think the perseverance thing, right? A lot of people, that's probably how you manage to get to that point, because as you say, there's probably been a ton of people going, oh, can I get hold of him? Can I get hold of him? And you can see the amount of people interest dropping off by the week, because they're like, can't get hold of him, he's not interested, I'm not doing this, I will phone him, oh, God, it's been a couple of weeks, I'll give him a phone in a week or so, and then, but by the very fact you're persevering and phoning him every week and then constantly saying, this is an update, this is what we're doing, the guy's suddenly like, I'm willing to help, what do you need me to do? Do you know what I mean? It makes it a lot better for you.
Yeah, always a sign of someone that doesn't have an awful lot on. It was like, that was my one deal that I'd found. I was clinging on to that for dear life to make sure we got something out of it.
No, but I think that's a great message because so many people just can't be arsed after a while, and it's just keep going that gets you that result.
Yeah.
Do you remember the numbers on it at all? No, a couple, we while ago now, but do you remember numbers on it, roughly?
I think refurb was just over 100.
You like changed the layout and all that, didn't you? You done mass amounts to it. It wasn't just like
steps and stairs,
like a paint, new kitchen, new bathroom.
So it was the original layout. It had kind of large living room, large downstairs bedroom, like tiny little kitchen, and then upstairs there was another 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, and we removed the downstairs bedroom, flipped the staircase around to put a downstairs toilet in, and then made the kitchen and downstairs bedroom into one like big open plan kind of kitchen living area. And then when we flipped the stairs around, it made space to like put a 3rd bedroom in upstairs. So we still kept it a 3-bed, but like with a much bigger kind of kitchen dining area.
More livable kind of layout as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a big job. That is a good first one.
100k refurb for your first one.
I know.
See how you said it was an assisted sale, and I presume that was to help the guy. Was there at no point that you were, I mean, now would you look at that, would you still do assisted sale, or would you go, I said, we'll buy it. We'll just buy it, we'll give him an offer. Not an unreasonable, silly, horrible offer, but just give him a reasonable offer and then own it all.
At the time, like I wasn't doing the estate agency. And so now I think if I came across something like that, I'd probably kind of recommend it on the market, like first off anyway. And if it really, really struggles, then like you do have those like alternate avenues that like other estate agents don't necessarily have. But I would say to everyone now, like whenever you come across anything that looks like that, it's just like you will get the most exposure to the most amount of people if you're on the market, and there is the chance of you getting the most amount of money for it. It just what happened like with this one, like he had ample opportunity to like put it on the market, and it's not something he wanted to do. He didn't want it advertised. He didn't want like like a for sale sign outside when it looked like that, and like pictures of it like while it was kind of ongoing, which was fair enough. But yeah, I think if something like that came across that just now and like working like at Kelly Residential and doing the estate agency side of things, like I would always say, first and foremost, if you put it on the market, like you'll get the most exposure to it, you're getting the most eyes on your property. Like we will still push to make sure that you get the best price possible for it. That's probably the route that we would go down always as like a first port of call. It wouldn't necessarily work for this guy. So yeah, probably I think the second best option there, which would have been the same in this instance, would be assisted sales probably still. If you can't get it on the market and find someone that's willing to buy it for like the best price, then that's probably the second best way of getting it, because you start going into, as you know, like off market, even if you're sourcing it onto another buyer, they're looking for like it's a numbers game for anyone that's like an investor. They want to get it for what's their best price possible, so that they can make like the best amount of money on it. They'll factor in lending and ADS and all the rest of it, and sourcing fees and all that. But yeah, I think assisted sale, like really, if it's not going to go on the market and someone knows what they're doing with an assisted sale, that's probably the best way that you're able to get like the best amount of money, the best outcome for the person that's selling, I would say. Yeah,
I think with that emotional attachment, you've probably got to know for sale sign. He's maybe embarrassed about the inside of it, with the pictures it might come to, because you're going to have to probably clear it out to even get it sold. Do you know what I mean? So I think that probably still was the best route, because if he's not wanting a for sale sign, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you probably do need that if you want the most exposure. People drive by and go, oh, that's for sale, go online and find it. So if he doesn't want that, doesn't want people seeing the pictures inside, maybe can't be bothered clearing it and stuff like that, then I probably think that is the best route for him. And he probably got more than what anybody would have offered. Because more often than not, that's going to be an investor who buys it, from memory of what it looked like. You're not going to get like a first time buyer buying that. You're not going to get somebody you might get somebody buying it who wants to live with it and do it potentially, but
The thing is,
there's
as well,
factors as well.
you couldn't walk around in it. Was the big thing. Like that's like how much like stuff was in it. So yeah, that one, like if you went to put it on the market, it is going to be difficult because you can't do viewings in it because you can't walk about in it. Like it wouldn't have been safe to like do viewings in there. So yeah, it's not very often that I would see one that I think, you know, it's not suitable to go on the market. I would always try and, like, if there is like an option to put it on the market, like I would always suggest that to people. And again, it just comes from a place of, you know, if what you like, well, people's circumstances are different. If what they want is, like, first and foremost, I want the best price for it when I'm selling it. Like I would always say to them, you know, going on the market, you get the most exposure. Like it's your best chance of getting the best price possible for it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not getting any offers, then there are other routes that you can go down. But we'd always suggest that first. This one's. I didn't have the option of putting it on the market at the time because I wasn't doing estate agency. But at the time, that would have been one of the few ones that wasn't suitable for going on the market.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't have worked out anyway. But yeah, that I would say that's always like your kind of second best option or something like that. Anyway.
So let me fast forward to Kelly Residential. So you start there, and I guess it's around the same question. If you got this property, I'm just thinking somebody comes into your office, says, I'm interested in getting rid of this, getting rid of it, so might not, whatever it is, or I'm interested in making money out of this. I guess your experience with assisted sale would help, but then what do you do? What is your steps that you're doing? And I'm going to ask what's different about what you're doing compared to anybody else.
Well, are you talking like one like that that's like a total
I think
kind of...
that's two different questions. What would you do with something like that? But then what separates you from everybody else? That's probably a separate question, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I know I can probably see based on your experience a couple of things that are different that people... I think it's good the fact that you had the background of doing that property, because other people, you might just get a straight agent to just go, here, I'm here to sell, and they don't give a monkeys, and they're a recruitment agent the day after and whatever, whereas you're going, actually, that's not going to be able to flip tomorrow, you know, because you know that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I suppose I suppose it is two questions. So if it was one that was like that, I would still always push, like, you know, getting it on the market is probably like the best thing to do, because it is going to get you like the most exposure. It's going to get in front of more people. It gives you the best opportunity of getting that best price just from like a reach point alone. I mean, you can market it all you want, but if it's not on like your property portals and things like that, like you're missing out on like the largest proportion of people that are buying at any one time. So, yeah, would always kind of say that to anyone that's thinking of selling. If for whatever reason, circumstances like that's not like appropriate for them, if they don't want it to go on the market, then yeah, we can then start looking like backwards at, you know, there are these other options. It's not something that we do an awful lot of just now, to be perfectly honest with you, because, you know, usually people are quite keen to like put it on the market. It's not something you come across very often, and it just goes back to that thing I was saying before. It's like the vendor comes first. It's all about like what's the best outcome for them, and you know, like you can build a business off that, but as long as you start it with, you know, like, it comes from a place of trying to help people and getting the best outcome for them and the best solution for them. Like, business and money will follow that, but as long as you do it from like a place of like you're doing it genuinely, trying to help them and trying to like, and they come first, then yeah, that's always like the key point of it. And so yeah, I would always say like that, going on the market, generally speaking, for them is always like the best solution. So that's always what we would kind of push for. You will get some kind of weird anomalies, which we can then like look at. There will be other things that we can do that maybe other estate agents aren't doing, or don't have like the knowledge of how to do, or don't have like contacts in like the kind of industry that are doing like kind of like stuff like yourselves, or anyone else that we know have done. But yeah, for the most part, it's pretty vanilla. It's just a bit boring. There you go.
But I think it's that kind of traditional, kind of impersonal industry, like you're saying, it's kind of come in as evaluation, do you want to take it on the market or not, where you're maybe making it that more personal touch. I think or in the kind of Kelly residential side, like that kind of concierge, kind of one-to-one, kind of you deal with me, and you know, it's that kind of personal touch all the way through, and that shows even from doing when you were probably, you know, quite green to property overall, and even that very first one, you're still very personal. Even go back to I know you said like hero and all that kind of thing with the paramedic, but you don't do that unless you've got a kind of personal touch and kind of helping. So all the way through, you're kind of seeing that they're helping through you as well. Music helps people if you want to go back that far. But do you know what I mean? Like settling, well, rock and roll maybe, but certainly kind of paramedic stuff. Want to help people, you get paid for it still. The help people with the project developments and everything else. Best solution for them, but you still make money. And obviously moving it in this agency, you've still got a personal touch, which I think is again in a non-traditional kind of way for a agency.
I mean, if a psychologist had a look at your jobs, they would, or a psychiatrist, they would probably look and go, the type of person you are, is that a helping person? Like, I'm not going to get deep with you.
I would like to think so.
But do you see what I mean? All the roles you're doing, exactly like you're saying, are that, and so therefore you're not going into an estate agent on the high street and saying, do you want to buy number 152? And they go, no. And they go, what about 153? And you go, you're going, like, exactly like you're saying, you're like, this is why this is good and this is not for you.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what made me like segue into doing the estate agency anyway. Like, because I kind of went into like the thought of like doing sourcing, which is like taking the assisted sales out of it, going and finding kind of buy-to-lets like for investors and that. Like that was like what I thought was going to kind of grow my business on, and we were like running, like Facebook ads and Google ads like everyone is, and I probably went into it like quite naive as well, because like from the outset, like my thing was like, I'm going to like offer people like the highest price for their house, and like I will be able to find the investor that will pay the best price for it, because at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. You don't want to be seen as the person that's going out like offering to like buy your house. Like everyone's seen like the comments and that. It's like you think that you're just out there trying to like steal houses off them,
scumbags and all that.
Yeah, and so like when I set it up, it was like, well, like I'm going to make sure it's not like that. Like you're going to go in, you're going to try and like get the best possible price for it. You realise very quickly like there aren't buyers out there for that. Yeah. And it was coming, like finding deals that were coming through, like kind of like marketing campaigns you were doing, that they didn't need someone to source it and sell it off market. It was looking at it and go, like, you need an estate agent. Like you just need your house on the market. That is all this you need here. Like you're not in a rush. There's no circumstances that would make an off market sale like more beneficial for you. Like there's no kind of work that needs done to the property. It's not a deal for anyone. Like you just need someone to put your house on the market and sell it. And I was like, I might as well be doing that. Like if I'm getting like leads for that. And then it was, and as much as it's probably not like, I don't know if this is the target audience for it, but like I preferred being on the side of the seller. Like if you're going to be on someone's side, like it's either, if it's to do with a property transaction, it's like, well, I can either help the seller get the best price possible for them, or I can help the buyer try and get the lowest price, which I know is not always the case. But it was like, it just felt like I much prefer being on their side of it. It's a lot more personal to them. For like your investor, it is transactional, it's numbers based. Like, yeah, there are people that will go into it with the best of intentions. But it's a really personal thing for people that are selling. So I just like preferred being on like their side of it. And that whole like you said, like concierge approach to it. Exactly. It's just like you're with them from start to finish, like the whole way through it, and like you're just constantly like with them through the process. It was just, it sits a lot better. I feel like it's the best way of kind of actually helping people through a situation.
Yeah. How do you balance that kind of, I suppose, one-to-one personal concierge service as well as try to grow the business and be as busy as you are? Because you're based in like East Kilbride, I think see you everywhere pretty much, but mostly East Kilbride and East Wren and stuff like that, aren't you? So
yes, I would always say like my best ability is availability, which is why I've got.
Get that on a t-shirt or something like that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it is. So it's like, if there's a listing comes up and I can take it, like, doesn't matter where it is. It's like, yep, I'll do that. It's like, which is like an ongoing joke in the office. It's like, there's like a listing come up in Troon, like with you, and I was like, yeah, just send it to me. I'll be there.
You go through the videos and it's like, it's Connaire here. You walk down the street, I'm in East Kilbride, and the next one's like, I'm in South Ayrshire. I'm like,
I was actually going to pick you up on that, because I was like, this guy must have like a really fast car.
No, it's just it's doing a lot of miles. I'll say that. But yeah, no, that's the thing. It goes back to like that, just, being like really not stubborn, but like going back to like phoning the guy every week, just like when you're like set on something, it's like, I'm going to make sure it happens. Like right now, it's a case of, you want to grow the business. It is a fine balance because we do absolutely everything. So like your traditional estate agent, you're phoning someone up, a valuer comes out to see your property, they'll give you like what they think their valuation of it is, they'll try and sell you on it, on why you should go with them. That valuer is like the best negotiator in the office. They're probably the highest paid person there, and because they want their best negotiator to be negotiating you, because that's what they want to use like all their negotiating power is, to make sure that they get your listing. And then once that's done, you're probably doing your own viewings, or they're getting a viewing agent to do it. And then there's like your negotiator that's based in the office that's going to try and like negotiate with people and trying to make sure you get the best price. Like they're not the best negotiator in the office, so like they're not the best placed person to be doing that. So that's, and going back to, the whole sourcing thing, I remember like going to see properties that were on the market with estate agents and being like I've not done like lots of like customer service based roles in the past. And I'm not one of those people that's like, if like your service is absolutely shocking and it's like I'm going to like pure throw a fit about it or anything like that, like if you're in like shops or hotels or anything. But it's that way you were going to like do viewings, and then like it was like some estate agent opening the door and be like, all right, just let us know if you need anything. And you're like, someone's paying you to sell this.
I know.
I know like you do this every day and it probably doesn't mean as much to you as it like maybe once did. But at the same time, it's like someone's like biggest asset they're ever going to have, like their prized possession, like they like this means like everything to them, and then like their like attitude to it was like opening the door and like, let us know if you need anything like that. You're not going to show us around, you're not going to tell us anything about it. You're like, does the owner of this know that this is like the pure blasé approach that you've got to trying to sell their house for them? And it was like, so yeah, going from like sourcing to that, it was like I would rather be on the seller side. I'm getting kind of leads that are suited to being on the market anyway, and it's like there is a gap in the market there for that, because like the don't get me wrong, there are some like good estate agents, there are loads of awful ones, and it's like they're just like not doing enough to like service like the needs of their clients, and it's like very like traditional old school like high street model, but it's there and it's rife and it's everywhere, and so that's like what we try and get away from. And yeah, it's difficult like as you're growing a business and you get more listings and you need to be in more places at once. It's hard to like be that there every step of the way, like from the case of like, it's me that comes to do your valuation. We're in a WhatsApp group together. If you need anything, you don't need to phone the office. You just message me directly. Any problems that you've got with your property, anything like that. Like the one thing we don't want is like if you have a concern that pops into your head at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon and you phone the office and I'm not in and no one's in that knows what's dealing with it, and then you think, oh, I'm going to have to sit on this like through Friday, through Saturday, through Sunday, through Monday till I finally get to talk to someone. It's like, no, it doesn't matter if it's like Wednesday night or Sunday afternoon. If like something falls into your head, just like put it through your thumbs and tell me what it is.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, it's something that we've got an answer to, and like I don't want you stressing about that. So yeah, it is very much the opposite of what like your traditional model is. It's difficult when you're growing it because like you can take on a lot less work than, I won't name names, but other high street agents can. Like they might do like 40, 50, 60 listings in a month. But we will probably never be at the level where you're doing that much volume, so we'll probably never be the biggest, but like we're not going to be beat on service though.
Yeah, but I think the way you're doing it, because first house I sold is exactly that. Exactly what you described happened to me is that I went to the first house I went to go and buy, and I was trying to buy this, and there was something I noticed in the carpet. But the guy would just stood at the door and he let other people, he's like, you've got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? And then he goes, next people are in. All right, cheers, I'm out of here. And he's on the phone. And I noticed something in the carpet, and he just goes, just phone the office. And I phoned, and see, by the time Monday came, I'm like that, the whole floor's damp. Do you know what I mean? In my head, I'm like, oh, that carpet, they're just trying to hide something. I don't think I'll buy that. And whereas it would have been much better the way you're doing it to go, I noticed a thing in the carpet, and you go, well, it's that. We'll lift it up, we'll have a look.
The thing is, that guy's probably never met the owners though. Like there's probably someone's come out to value that, or the valuation, come out to see an appointment with the owners the first time. They've given them like the hard sell on why their company's great. And then like they've never, like that person's disappeared, they never meet them again, and then it's like a viewing agent goes out who's never met the owners, doesn't know anything about the property, but they're there, open the doors and let people in. And they're not going to answer your questions because they're not the negotiator, they're not the valuer, they're in to like do the viewing with you, and that's it. So yeah, that's the alternatives that are out there. It's mental.
So just on that, right, and I'm probably going to get sued for this one, but
ready to edit.
Yeah, ready to edit. Because in my head, I totally agree, and having had that experience, I wouldn't touch a high street estate agent if my life depended on it, why are they still getting business? Because we know exactly how your company works, and it's exactly the way that you want to be treated, both to sell and to buy. Why are these companies working? What?
I think the big names, like we say a lot, like it's that way. Like, so when you think about buying a car and you go and see a car that you've never looked at before, and as soon as you think about buying it, you see it everywhere. Like, you don't think about like estate agents, like from a purely like residential like buyer and seller. Like, not if you're involved in property, you obviously think about them a lot more. But if you're a normal person that doesn't work in the property industry, you don't think about like estate agents on a day-to-day basis until it's time for you to sell your house, and then all of a sudden, like, you notice for sale signs and sold signs everywhere. And so, like, if they are like a big name and they're doing like that volume, like that's like it gives you that kind of confidence in you. It's the best marketing in the world if you see a sold sign, because you're thinking they've sold lots in the area, they must be really good, and they don't need to look into it too much more. And the majority of them probably go like quite smoothly, and the sellers probably don't know that like they're not doing a particularly great job at viewings.
Yeah.
They don't know the way the setup is, they don't know the alternative, so they think like, oh yeah, I went with them, it sold within a couple of weeks, it was all pretty smooth and straightforward, because a lot of transactions are, and they've not got anything bad to say about them. So like they don't necessarily, you know, get like a bad reputation from that respect, because the majority of them like do sell all right.
So it's more quantity than quality they're providing, isn't it?
Well, this is the way like the business model works for a lot of them. Like they're very kind of, they will compete like aggressively on prices, and they are very much a volume-based business model. It's like as many properties as we can get on the market at any one time. Start that again.
We'll just edit that bit out.
Aye.
Keep that in.
It's very much a volume-based kind of business model. It's like as many properties as they can get on the market at any one time, and they know the majority of them are going to sell, and there might be some stragglers that are a little bit difficult and tricky to sell, but like they're turning a profit regardless, because like from a numbers point, the majority of them are selling. It doesn't really matter that much if like they've got a few that are struggling, that don't sell, that end up, you know, like falling through, and they take them off the market, or they move to another agent. It's like it doesn't matter that much, because their business model is based on volume. Like ours is like, first of all, every agent that works with us is self-employed, so like there's no salary there. If I go out to like see your house and you agree to list it with us, until this house sells, I don't get paid. Like, it's not a case of like, oh, it's all right because I've done like 20 other listings this month, so if this one struggles, it's not the end of the world. It's like, no. Like, first of all, I can only do a small amount of listings at a time because of the level of service that we're given, and we're doing everything from start to finish. And if this doesn't sell, like I make nothing off it. So it's like that way. There's no one else that's got that kind of much skin in the game, if you will.
No, they kind of drive behind it. I think as well, like tradition. So like, you go to sell your house, like, who did you go to? You speak to friends and family, and they just probably spoke to family and parents and everything else, that they say, oh, go with this high street brand. Try not to name names. Go with this high street brand, and then they use them, because they're used to that. They don't know what good looks like, in a sense. So they're not used to a better service. It's just that's how it is.
Yeah.
So that we'll come back to the whole traditional.
That's old school, right?
That's what I'm saying. Traditional impersonal service, and not every high street brand's like that. We probably should say that. Like, there's some great ones out there as well. But
yeah, like I said at the start, like you get some really good estate agents, you get a lot of terrible ones.
But when it goes through, like you say, like surveyor or valuer to then somebody dealing with it in the office, and then somebody else dealing with it, and then negotiating, and it deals with somebody else, and you're maybe through like 4 or 5 different people before it gets to sold, and you're like, whereas like our Connaire, Keller Residential, and others like it, like that whole personal service. No, I'll deal with it. I'll make sure it's sold, and it goes back to that. Yeah, you're not getting paid until it's sold. That's one ambition, but you still want to do the best for them as well. So you've got that kind of drive and ambition to get it sold, get the best price for them, and get it done as quickly as you possibly can, and get it through that whole conveyancing process. But I mean, I would say you're still relatively young. I'm going to call myself young, my early 30s. But if you came across that, like where even just through you started doing the property sale thing, where sourcing and try to find that first big one, like the kind of young age kind of look, you'll come and get across other valuers who are probably a bit older as well. Like, you had any challenges like that because of being relatively young in the industry, or?
Not necessarily, no. I think it is one of those ones where, especially from like a investment point of view, you see like a lot more like young people getting into it. Through the estate agency, it's not been an issue that I've necessarily faced. No one's been that. Yeah, maybe I'm just not as young as I don't look as young as I am. Maybe. I think as well, like I didn't go into like just dive into being an estate agent with no experience. Like I had that kind of property background there. I had like life experience before from like past like jobs and stuff. So like there's a level of like you're confident, you know what you're doing kind of thing. I mean, I was a paramedic when I was 21, so like I probably got it more for that from that. Like
a lot of adversity there.
I think people with that whole, like you're saying, that whole customer experience, people don't just want bulk buy, give me a discount quickly, don't ever speak to me. They want the customer experience, and they want people accept the fact that if you don't know the answer, you go, I don't know the answer, but I'll find out for you. Yeah. And then you go away and find it and come back. I think it's actually sometimes more beneficial not to know it and come back, because then they trust you more, going, he made a promise on something, he was honest with me, he came back straight away, I've got the answer, rather than phone the office.
Yeah, and the thing is as well is like kind of similar to that, like, you know, having that kind of one person that's helping you through it is like, see when people are, if it's a residential sale and it's someone that's not used to doing like kind of like buying and selling houses, and it's maybe the one or two times they're ever going to do it in their life, their knowledge of it is just what they've heard before, which is, oh, it's the most stressful thing in the world, and they don't know what they're doing with it, and there's like all these kind of unknown factors, and it's like, it really doesn't have to be stressful. It is pretty straightforward. Like selling a house isn't complicated or stressful. However, if you don't know what's happening with it, and you've got 4 or 5 other people that are involved in it, and no one tells you, you know, what's the difference between like a mortgage broker and a mortgage advisor, or are they the same thing, or what's a mortgage lender, and why do you need an estate agent, and what's your solicitor for, and why is there like 4 or 5 different people at the estate agency? Why can't I just go to one person, they'll sort everything for me? And like, why, like, what is the home report? Why is the surveyor coming out? Like, what are all the things that you're paying for? See if there's just one person at the start that goes, like, this is really simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. I do it all the time. If you're ever stressed about anything, just let me know what it is, and then look, we'll take care of it, because it doesn't have to be like, I will do everything. Yeah. And then like the only thing I'm not going to do for you is like pack all your stuff into boxes and move for you. Like, but apart from that, everything else is like taken care of. So like from the second you say, yeah, we're happy to go ahead with you, it's like, that's fine. When suits you that we can get like your home report and your photos and that done, give us a day, like fine. I will arrange the surveyor and the photographer to come out at the same time. It will take an hour out your day, and then we'll get it on the market and we'll do everything from then. And then it's just a case of, is there times that would suit you that you can be out the house for a couple of hours, that I'll do viewings during the week. And then like, yeah, it's like Wednesday night and Saturday, like 2 till 3, like brilliant. So all you have to do is be available for one day to let the surveyor and the photographer in. Here's your home report. Here's all your photos. That's it on the market. Like, we've got X amount of viewings booked in at this time this week. All you need to do is be out the house for a couple of hours. Like, do them. As far as they're concerned, all they've done is like they've given you the keys and they've left the house for a couple of hours, and then you're like, these are the offers that we've got in. Like,
that's awesome.
We can like help guide you on what's like a good offer, how busy it is, whether we think there's better offers to come, whether there's like a bit of kind of wiggle room with any of the ones that are there. Like, guide you through the process of, you know, accepting one of them. And it's like, that's brilliant. Once you're happy to accept one, I'll get in touch with the buyer. We'll get the formal offer. I will have a read through it, make sure everything looks all right, let you see it, and if you're happy with it, I will send it off to your solicitor and we'll deal with everything from there. So as far as they're concerned, the process of selling a house was getting us out, agreeing that they wanted to list it with us, and then they were out the house for a couple of hours during the week.
Aye, pain free.
And
that's it done.
So just, I had I suppose a positive, but I'm going to ask you how this works. There's a lot of expat and foreign investors that have tenants in houses. How does that work if they want to sell it? I suppose it's positive in the fact that they just message you. They're not having to phone a UK number to get through to the wrong person, So do you have you had houses that people have got tenants in them or stuff like that? Or
we've not sold a lot of tenanted properties, to be honest with you. They're trickier to sell on the market. Yeah, it's probably not the answer that people like, but the honest answer is like it's easier to sell like a property when it's vacant than it is when it's tenanted. It's not to say that you're encouraging people to like evict tenants or anything like that, but that's just like that. It's just the facts.
You've only
of
really
it.
got one demographic of buyer, really. You've got investors who can buy it, and then all after one thing, come back to that is numbers. So there's not like you know, obviously jump in, correct me here, but Connor's thing is about more getting the best price for that. Come back to investors. They want number. It's not always about the best price, it's about the best price for them in regards to numbers. It's maybe a mismatch of that as well. In a sense.
At the end of the day,
I spoke to a high street agent last week, and I asked the same question. And that's why I was asking you, and he went like, "It's no difference." And I was like, "I don't believe you."
The world of difference.
I'm like, you're not telling the truth.
Yeah. At the end, like, we're not encouraging people to like go and like be evicting tenants or anything like that. But at the end of the day, like the person who's selling the property is your client, whether they're an investor or a residential seller. So like you need to give them the best advice, which is, you know, you will get more money for a property that's vacant than you will if it's tenanted. They are easier to sell because you've got more options. If it's a tenanted property, like your only buyer is going to be another investor. It's going to be a financial decision from them. They're going to be looking at it from a numbers perspective. You're limited to the amount of buyers that are out there, and they are not going to be looking at it from an emotional perspective. It's going to be purely financial. And so, yeah, it is. If you're a seller, it's easier to sell a property when it's vacant, and you will get more money for it, generally speaking. Do with that information what you will.
Look at it. The time-wise, I don't want to keep up too much to your day, or this person talk to you will have a million different messages on your phone coming out of this, but I'm not letting you away with it doing this. So we're going to take this, and then I've got
Where
a
does it
couple
go?
of down your throat.
All right, okay, that's fine then.
On your hair, you're worried that you're going to have that whole Gaza haircut again, aren't you?
We'll do this, and then I've got a couple of quick fire questions and just short, sharp answers, and then we'll wrap up from there, I think.
Absolutely. Buzzing.
He will be after it.
I know. Right, cheers.
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 Cow. You actually enjoyed that?
It tastes familiar, I can't think what it is.
Ginger.
Thanks very much, mate.
It's the back there. Reaches the parts no other places hit.
That's not a korma. Right.
It tastes like a kind of juice. It's really going to annoy me that I can't think what it is.
Ginger beer.
Do you know what it is actually? Ginger beer.
Oh, the clue might be in the name.
Oh my god.
You're a
That's good
genius,
ginger in it. Marketing. So can I quick fire questions? So just sharp on them. But one thing you believed about estate agency what did I say? One thing you believed about estate agency early on that turned out to be wrong.
Rich. They're all minted.
Worst deal or mistake you've made?
Oh, Christ. Worst deal.
And then how you learn from it and all that as well. But
Gosh. No idea.
Is it the STV one?
What?
it could be before Kelly, by the way. It could be when you're outsourcing or try to do like that.
Yeah, I suppose like early on there was like I remember there was a property that we were trying to source on. That was probably one of the first ones that I thought, you know, this probably just needs an estate agent, but did like attempt to kind of source it on because it's the only tools that you had available at the time. And then like, I think going back on that, you'd have been like, oh yeah, now you know, it just needs to be like put on the market. So that's how I learned from it, by being an estate agent.
Favourite part of the job?
Favourite part of the job? Probably, I quite like the... Oh, there's a few bits. I like
the
doing...
travel must be in there because you do a fair amount of it.
I know.
Probably the worst part of it, man.
I quite like doing appraisals and stuff like that, and going out and like valuing houses and that and talking to people. It's very similar to like my last job when like I worked as a paramedic. Like I'm used to like going into people's houses and just like sitting and having a natter with them and stuff like that. So as much as like you're going in with a different perspective and it's like you're trying to like win their business technically. That's like I've done that for like the last like 10 years. It's like you're used to just every day like you go into like a stranger's house and you just sit there and like have a wee chat with them and like get to know them, and so that's probably the best bit. And it sets it up like I was saying, if they decide to go with you, And like I said, it's a really personal service. Like it's the first time you get to meet them, then you get to know them quite well, and like you're quite pally by the end of it. So that's probably the best bit. So it's the first time you get to go and meet people.
Nice.
Can I ask, is there deals that you go into that you look at, I'm thinking, that go, the guy goes, this house is worth 60 grand, he's like, I want 140 for it, and you just go, you're just not going to get it. Yeah. Does it happen quite often? Because people don't like to hear that. That's hard.
Yeah,
news,
yeah,
right?
it does. It goes back to that whole, like, again, what makes you different, comparing it to like the way other agencies work. When people do evaluations, you will get estate agents that will do what's like historically called buying the business, which is like they'll go out to the evaluations and then like they will inflate the numbers that they say that you're going to get for a value of it. Because like people that aren't savvy to the process will think, oh, like this person said I'm going to get 160, that one said 170, that one said they'll get 190, I'm going to go with them because they're going to get me the best price. We always go into it like with, you know, comparables that are like in a booklet that's ready for them. Got look, people do evaluations in a different way. Like we try and make everything like as data and evidence based as possible to give you an idea of what your home report value will be. Just so that you know that there's something tangible evidence behind what I'm saying, so you know that there's like that I'm not just plucking these numbers out of thin air, and that's like how we kind of do it. And so if like they are thinking, yeah, I wanted to get this much for it, I can say there's no evidence here from like recent sales to suggest that you would get something like that. It's not to like be a dampener on you or anything like that, but I have the data in front of us here. This is every property that like yours that sold within a quarter mile within the last year. None of them have reached that price. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, yeah, you can get that just for the sake of winning your business. It's better that you know that now. Don't get me wrong. If there's someone willing to pay that price, like I'll make sure we find them. But like I'm not going to sit here and say to you,
set an expectation, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm not going to sit there and just like lie to people for the sake of winning their business and say that you're going to get that much for it. But it's that way, like making sure you can back it up, like show the evidence why. Don't just say like, no, you're dreaming.
No.
But just say like, no, these are recent ones that we've sold. These are ones that other estate agents have sold. This is the prices that they're going for. Like what you're saying just now is like overly ambitious. Like I'm more than happy to like take it on and try and get to that for you. But I'm not going to sit here and like promise you it because there's no data to suggest that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I suppose it's like what your father-in-law was saying, and the whole stigma around estate agents is they'll just take it on like a bit Arthur Daly-ish, you know, the high street ones are a bit like, we'll take it on rather than you managing their expectations to go look.
Most underrated part of a successful property sale?
The most underrated part?
It's a brilliant question, by the way. We've got to love him, by the way, haven't we?
Oh,
ChatGPT.
Absolutely. Gosh, I don't even know how. I don't even know what it means now to answer it.
So, like, I think people take it for granted. Like, if I was doing a flip and all that, people think like staging doesn't make a big part, but it clearly does. You're not going to have staging in residential because it's already technically staged.
Oh, right, okay, right.
Do you know what I mean? Like something that people maybe don't do or take for granted. It helps that whole sales process. I mean, obviously the personal approach is a huge part, which maybe goes underrated to helping people through it. But anything within setting up the property, like for the viewings or for the pictures.
Yeah, would you believe, I'm going to say it's picking an estate agent. Would you believe? But genuinely, like it is like there's that many options out there. A lot of them are very similar. People will go with ones that are like the cheapest or the most kind of well known and stuff like that. A lot of people think like, you know, they just put it on Rightmove, like property sell themselves. Like, yeah, quite a lot. Like the times they do sell themselves, they don't get themselves the best price though. So like you need to make sure that you've got someone that's there that's willing to, you know, fight your corner and make sure that you're getting the best price. Someone that actually is passionate about it and cares about it.
No, that's correct, because it goes back to what you said earlier on. Choose the wrong estate agent who's just going to use a viewing agent. Let yourself in, have a look around and let me know what you think. Oh, you got an offer? Right, cool. Whereas if you pick somebody who goes, I'll take you through the property, I'll show you around and chase up the offers, chase up the people who viewed it, what's their feedback on it, they're going to put in an offer, like going back and forth, someone's going to fight your corner, like you say. That's a huge part of it, that people just think, oh, we'll put it up in Rightmove and it's fine.
And this is the thing, as much as like, yeah, it's a very personal perspective for the seller, it's the same for the buyer as well, because when they phone in with inquiries, like I'm speaking to them on the phone, I'm meeting them at the viewings, and then when it comes to like negotiating on price with them, I'm not just like a faceless person at the other side of the phone that they've never met before that's trying to squeeze money out of them. It's like, it's Connor, who we spoke to on the phone, who we've met at the viewing, who we've been speaking to, like there is like a trust and a relationship there. It's like, I'm not someone trying to like squeeze more money out of them. It's someone that's understands how much they want to move to this house, and I'm trying to do everything I can to try and help facilitate that for them. You don't get that kind of relationship build up with like traditional high street agents. That's the difference. That I would say that is genuinely probably the most underrated bit, because you can do everything else right. Like you can stage it, like you can get amazing photos, you can do all the rest of it, but it's a personal thing for everyone. It's like it's personal for you as a seller, and it's an emotional like sale and all the rest of it. But the person that's buying it as well, like there needs to be some sort of sales element to that. There's no like if they're going on Rightmove, they're seeing it, they're like ticking it, they're speaking to someone on the phone to book a viewing, and then it's either like the seller or like a viewing agent that they've never met before and they never spoke to, and there's no continuity there. Like they're so detached from it. So yeah.
Do you know what's crazy, right? You might go on holiday to Spain or you might go to fly to London, right, on a 200. You'll spend 3 hours looking at flights, or I would, and hang on, can I go EasyJet? Can I go to Stansted or Heathrow or that? And then you go, oh yeah. And then as soon as you want to sell your house, you go to the high street that you know, you spend 2 minutes thinking about it, and it's the largest investment that you own. But you spend more time booking a flight to London than you would finding somebody that actually done the job for you.
Yeah. And do you know, I've said that to people before when I've been out to do valuations, and then like we say to them, like, are you getting other estate agents out? And they're like, no, we weren't planning on it. And I was like, I would still recommend doing it. Like, it's great that you've only asked me to come out, and by the sounds of it, I'm competing against no one and I'm probably getting this, but like, you know, get second opinions. The values will be very much the same. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's like, yeah. A total like tangent, but like getting like the whole thing, the valuation process from an estate agent. Like, see, to be honest with you, it's largely irrelevant what an estate agent thinks your house is worth, because you're getting a home report done on it anyway.
Aye.
And that's going to be what the value is. Like, people don't know that, but like they'll get them out to like find out what the valuation is. Like that part of it where they tell you like a figure, like it doesn't matter like what they're telling you the figure is.
I know.
It's everything else. It's like, what are they going to do to market it? Like, what's their service like? How are they going to be in touch with you? Like, what separates them? Who do you actually like that you can like feel comfortable picking the phone up to, like if there's an issue or anything like that?
Because that is the question, isn't it? The question, I guess, from this conversation that I would do next house sale is, what are you going to do to sell the house?
Yeah.
Not how much is it worth. What are you going to do personally to make this better for me?
Yeah, exactly.
And that.
I think we sort of loads more questions, but I'm conscious of time. But if people want to reach out to you then in terms of selling the house,
Yeah. Yeah, so can find me online on socials. My handle's Connaire Kelly Residential, spelled Connaire.
I always say Connaire. I don't know why, but we'll put it in the show notes as
Magic.
well. Just for,
and then apart from that, you can just go to kellyresidential.co.uk. You can get in touch with us there. You can give us a phone. My number's 077 030 22782. Just give us a phone. I answer my phone to anyone. Like I said, I'm available 7 days a week, day or night. Just give us a wee ring.
We will
how many
put all the
package you get
links in
for
your
this one?
number.
Because on YouTube and everything, you're like, who's this coming from South Africa?
I already told you, mate. My best ability is availability. If anyone wants to call me and you've got a house to sell, that's absolutely fine. And if you've not, then we can just have a wee chat anyway, because that's fine.
Love it. No, but listen, thank you very much for coming
bother,
on.
mate.
Share a
Thanks
little
very
bit
much for
Thank you
having
very
us.
much.
behind the scenes on what it takes to properly sell a house on the market as well. And if you enjoyed the show, please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Take care. Thank you.